folks, welcome to my kitchen. We are going to be cooking with the quick cooker. This is the lid of the quick cooker, and what I'd like to point out here is this button is what you press to release the pressure after everything's done. You want to make sure that after you've done that and before you start your next recipe that it is flush. You can also hopefully see a little steam cloud in an arrow pointing up. And if you look at this, which it lifts up to let the steam out, make sure that this little steam cloud arrow is the same as this one so that it's not going to be hitting the wrong direction when you release the steam. Anyways, I do store my ceramic pot in. This is something you're going to absolutely want to get when you get the quick cooker, because you can make mashed potatoes in here, and this little rack goes right on top of this rack that does come with your quick cooker, and so your stew can be at the bottom, and then you can put your potatoes in here to make mashed potatoes. There is a great recipe in our recipe guide, which I'm not finding at the moment, but I will spot it, for teriyaki chicken with rice. Again, you can make the rice in here, and the teriyaki chicken would be at the bottom. There is a great cooking guide that comes with this, and what I love about the cooking guide is at the beginning, it gives you some ideas. It gives you some ideas of some things to do right away. Remember how I was talking about the salad choppers? Oh my gosh, the salad choppers is wonderful for this simple salsa chicken, which I will use for chicken fajitas. It's just great. But then it has your beans and legumes, the grains and rice, and how to prepare it. It has all kinds of vegetables you can cook in here. It's got meat, poultry, and then it goes into some wonderful, wonderful recipes that you can make. This bread is wonderful. It gets made in the ceramic pot. And what's great is this quick cooker will proof it. So your rising of the bread goes a whole lot faster. This is a really good recipe. This does come with your quick cooker. So I do a lot, both at my shows and when I'm doing a live demo, a lot of getting things ready. When I get chicken breasts, they're mammoth. And I know that a number of you have commented on how much you love the close and cut, and it's just great. You put the chicken breast in here, run your knife through, and they're actually a normal serving size. It also makes it faster to thaw, and I also feel that they seem to be more tender if they're not quite so thick. So I've got some chicken breasts cut up here. We're going to use the simple slicer. Love the simple slicer. You can't cut yourself. This stays on. Put it in the lock position when you're not using it. At the number 1, you'll get a 1/16 of an inch. Great if you want to bake some sweet potato fries or potato chips, that sort of thing. This is 1/8 of an inch, and this is 3/4 of an inch. And I am going to put it on the 2 button. When you are going to use an onion, and I am going to cut this top off, just a little quick tip, if you're not going to use the whole onion, make sure you save the root end, because that'll hold the juices in so that it doesn't dry out. I don't need that, so that'll go into the compost pile. And I'm just going to put this in here. Then I put this on top, and I'm just going to slice it down onto one of our flexible cutting mats. I love our flexible cutting mats because when you work right onto it, then at the end, and I will be doing this, at the end, you can take and pick it up and dump it in there. Then I need to take and cut this into quarters. And then I do have some mushrooms here. I love our prep bowls. These come with lids. This is one of our 3-cup prep bowls. And if I have leftovers stored in it, I can actually tell what's in it, so I'm not trying to guess. This calls for 5. Oh, I love garlic. 5 cloves of garlic. There is a set with a garlic peeler and a garlic slicer. You can put this in here and you just roll it and it peels your cloves, so there's no peelings on it. So I am also going to take and throw the garlic in here, in the inside, and then I'm going to peel it right onto this concoction of a bunch of different, oh, I need to, sorry, turn this to the sear, and then I just push start. I get confused because on the air fryer you push this button, you have to push the start button. And I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of olive oil from Spain from our daughter. I love these easy read measuring cups because I don't have to bend and twist. I can just watch until it gets to the 2. And then I'm just going to throw this in here to heat the oil. And the reason I am sort of stacking a bunch of these things together is it will keep the garlic, per se, from getting way too like burned when it goes in. And I don't know if you can see like how fine these are. And there's a difference between sliced garlic and minced garlic. This has a much subtler taste, but oh my gosh, it is just so great. Then I did the mushrooms with our quick slice, and I just want to show you this fun thing. I thought it was so dumb when it came out. It's like, really, what am I going to use this for? Well, it has serrated edges here on both sides as well as down here. Great for getting the insides of your pepper out, but also wonderful for melons, squashes, that sort of thing. And then I'm going to take this, and if you were doing a veggie tray, you could put this in here and you could rock it, and you'd have great strips for a veggie tray to dip into a dip. But if you take and pick these up, which is super cool, and turn them this way, by the way, when I post this recipe later, it doesn't call for all these vegetables, but our family loves vegetables, so more is better. So it really only calls for the onion as well as the garlic. I'm adding the peppers, and I'm adding the mushrooms. And you know what? I also realized I didn't get out the can of, oh, I didn't show you. So when I turn it, I have beautifully evenly diced peppers, great for omelets, great for pasta salads, whatever you'd want to use them for. So, and a lot of times what I'll do at the beginning of the week / on the weekend is I'll prep a bunch of veggies so that when we go to make salads, everything is all set to go. So, and then I'll take the top and I'll just cut that. And some of these can get cut one more time, and then we're good to go. And then I'll get rid of that. That'll go in the compost pile. Okay, I just need to, come on, recipe. Oh, great. Okay, so I've warmed that up. I've got the onion done. I've got the garlic. I've got the chicken. I've got all the vegetables. And what I love about these mats is when you're working on them, they don't move because there's a nice silicone underneath. But then I can pick it up and I can just dump it all in. And I can brown this up. Okay, These are also amazing little grips. They're for the microwave. But this, as you can tell by the sound you're hearing, gets very hot. And you need to have something where you can safely hang on to this. I love this pan. You could put frozen chicken in here and it knows the length of time to cook it and things like that. It has a number of different settings. Many pots similar to this don't have as many settings. We have a sear setting, we have a steam, we have an actual slow cooker. So just like if you wanted to use this as a crock pot, you could. Here's the proof, which will make your breads rise faster. Then there's one that's chicken and poultry. There's one that's beef and pork. We use that also for venison. There's fish and seafood. There's this one for making soups. If you want to make, we have a what's that pan called that you make cheesecakes in? You have, you can make cheesecakes in here and puddings in here. There's a stew and a chili, there's beans, there's whole grains, there's browned rice, and a separate one for white rice. So we just need to do this for about 3 minutes, stirring it constantly. Then what I will be doing is I will be adding in, I probably should have started drinking ahead of time. Here's our largest one, and I took out the large one. You know me, I hate to cook and I hate to do dishes, so don't want to dirty too many dishes. But I'm going to put in 3/4 of a cup of a white wine to deglaze the bottom of the pot. And then I have to, oops, I suppose I should open this and measure it. I'm going to have to take and measure out 4 to 5 cups of chicken broth as well. So another thing is later on, so then what I will be doing is I'll be turning it to, I'll be hitting the custom and I'll be reducing the time down to 5 minutes. It'll need to come to pressure. Do not think that when I say it's going to cook for 5 minutes, that it's literally dinner's going to be done in 5 minutes, because it isn't. Because the pot has to come to pressure, and once it comes to pressure, it'll cook for 5 minutes, and then it will be done. When it does get done, we open it up, and I'm going to take and put in some Parmesan cheese, and I do want to grate some Parmesan cheese so it's ready to do later. Love these graters. They do come with these protective guards, because the way things get dull is that if you'd put this in your drawer and things were clinking around on that, that's going to dull your blade. So you want to keep this and keep it on top. Plus, if this isn't on there, you're going to nick your knuckles. When you are not using it, it folds up flat. I am not pushing on here. It looks like I'm pushing on here, but I'm actually pulling the handle towards myself. And I pull it towards myself, and it goes to the first spot. And that's how I'll grate some cheese right now while this is sauteing in here. And I am naughty. It does have a lovely finger protector. I have very technical words for this, but if it's a big chunk of cheese like this, I will just grab the block, and look at how fast and easy that cheese is grating. And so I will be putting a cup of Parmesan cheese in with a cup of, I'm going to use coconut milk instead of the heavy cream that it calls for. That will just lighten it up a little bit, and you'll never notice the difference at all. So I add that, the coconut cream, and then, or coconut milk, and then some baby spinach. Let it sit for a while, and that's all you have to do. There also, I made some bacon, and there will be bacon that's added into it, and then sprinkle bacon on top. Everything is better with bacon. So I think this is ready to add the wine to. And while that warms up a little bit, I'm going to be right back. I have to grab my can opener and my can of fire roasted tomatoes. And one thing I'm going to tell you is even if I have a can like this that has a pull tab, I do not pull that tab because that inside tab is going to wreak havoc on the edges of your scrapers, or it could cut you. That's why I love our smooth edge can opener. If you look at this little wheel right here, see how it's traveling? Even if you put it, and this is a Sarah Warfel word, even if you put it on the can and it's sort of kitty-wampus, so it's not, I mean, I'm very good. I don't have a problem with getting it lined up straight. But even if I had it just tilted a little bit, as I turn this handle, did you see how that can just sort of moved? I'll do that again. So I'm not straight on, I don't have it completely on. And as I turned it, it grabbed onto the can. And now it feels, I'll never forget when this first came out and I was doing it in front of my husband. And he's like, that's not working. And then I heard that click and I felt it release. I'm like, yeah, it did. And then you need to take and you back crank it. These little fish lips or bird lips, very important. They're going to grab on to the edge of the can and you lift the lid, and this is not sharp, nor are these. Nothing is being cut. This is never going to be gunky and rusty and gross because all it did was it broke the airtight seal around the can of tomatoes. Dump the tomatoes in. I'm going to start with just 4 cups of chicken broth, and then afterwards, if the spaghetti doesn't seem to quite be, when I open it up a little later, if it doesn't seem like the spaghetti is quite cooked, I will add another cup of liquid. And then I took a box of, and again, to make it a little healthier, I'm using whole grain pasta. And I took this spaghetti and I cut it in half, and I'm just sticking it in here. And of course, this went dead again. Okay, so I did that. Yep, that's it. So I just have to get the spaghetti down in here so it's in the moisture. Spaghetti all over the floor. And all I'm going to do now is, oh, here's the lid. Take and put the lid on. Now, one of the things about this pot, and now you have to listen, it's R2D2. Did you hear that? Isn't that cute? Listen. Talks to you, you know it's ready. One of the things I'm going to do at this point is I am going to, it has, as a safety measure, it has these little handles, so it's very easy to lift it. And I'm going to bring it out here and point it this direction, because this steam, when you manually release it by pushing this button down, you're going to be shocked at how that steam comes out of there. And it could, if you point it towards cabinets or you point it towards the wall, it literally could take the paint off of the wall. So you want to have it away from being under your cupboards and that sort of thing. But all I need to do at the moment is I'm going to hit cancel because I'm done with the stuff in there. I'm going to hit the word custom. It automatically went to 30 minutes. I'm going to hit time, and then I have to push this until it gets down to 5 minutes. And then I just hit the start button. And until it comes to pressure, this is just going to keep going round, round, round. And like I say, when this is done, I'll add in some bacon, I'll add in this Parmesan, I'll add in the coconut milk that's in the fridge, and mix that in with the spinach, and then put the lid back on. I'm not going to do any more cooking. I'm just going to put the lid back on so it settles, and then a little extra Parmesan as well as some more sprinkly bacon. So thanks for joining us tonight. Take care. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Bye-bye.